Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to look at 6 things from Numbers 4 and 5. Now, as we're looking through, again, God is ordering things for the priests and the people to do. So that's no different in this chapter. We see that the priests each get to do God's work from 30 years old to 50 years old. Perhaps they learn from watching until they're 30, and then when they're 50, they can kind of be help as far as telling people what they should be doing. But the 30 years old to 50 years old, that's the cutoff line. And that might be why Jesus waited until he was 30 to start his public ministry. Since he's our high priest, he needed to follow the same law. There you go. 2, Aaron and his sons are responsible for packing up and taking the holy things. And they've got to wrap up the precious things, keep them covered, so that when other people touch them, they will not die. That's how holy this is. And if you recall correctly, there's a story where David is involved and the ark is coming and it tips and someone reaches out and touches it and dies on the spot. Right here in Numbers is why it happens. God says, don't touch it or you will die. It's clear in the law there. And Kohath is going to carry the sons of Kohath will carry certain ones. The Gershonites, number 3, Gershonites will also carry some of it. The sons of Merari will carry some of it. So everybody's got a job to do. When they pack up this tent to move in the wilderness, it's laid out. Here's what we're going to do. Number 4, this is all about showing that God is holy. Okay, that is the big thing. All these laws, all these things showing God is holy. We're a holy people. We're going to do things differently. We're going to be set apart. And we see this in this chapter of Numbers because God says all the people who are unclean need to be outside the camp. I'm holy. We're going to take those people who have diseases like leprosy, who are ceremonially unclean. We're just going to put them outside the camp till they're clean and they can come back in. Number 5, all sin must be confessed to God. Then they're to furnish their proper sacrifice and add a 5th to it if they're supposed to do that. And this chapter is saying, hey, if you've stolen from that person, you confess to God, you give them the item, and you add a 5th to it, just like the law said that we've read before. If no person is available to give that extra 5th to, then you give that 5th to God. So that is we're gonna go over that. Now, an interesting part in chapter 5 is the law for jealousy. If a man was jealous, thinking his wife has cheated on him, but he can't prove it, then he can go with her to the priest, and the priest is going to perform this ceremony that we're going to read about. And through the power of God, they will receive a yes or a no, and then they'll know for sure. So pretty interesting there that God is saying, hey, if you're really riled up as a husband, come into my presence, seek me, do this test, and I'll let you know whether that is true or not, and then you can take it from there. So let's read. Chapter 4. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi and their families by the house of their father, from 30 years old and upward even to 50 years old, all that enter into the host, to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation about the most holy things. And when the camp setteth forward, Aaron shall come, and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil, and cover the ark of the testimony with it. And they shall put thereon the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staves thereof. And upon the table of the showbread they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, and the spoons, and the bowls, and the covers, to cover withal. And the continual bread shall be thereon, and they shall spread upon it the cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with the covering of badger skins, and shall put the staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister unto it. And they shall put it all the vessels thereof within a covering of badger skins, and shall put it upon a bar, and upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of badger skins, and they shall put the staves thereof, and they shall take the instruments of the ministry wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and they put them in the cloth of blue, and cover them with a covering of badger skins, and shall put them on a bar, and they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, and all the vessels of the altar, and they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skins, and put to the staves of it. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come and bear it. But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These are the burdens of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. And to the office of Eleazar the son of Aaron, the priest, pertaineth the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering. Again, meat just means food. And the anointing oil, and the oversight of all the tabernacle, and of all that is therein, in the sanctuary, and in the vessels thereof. And the Lord spoke to Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Cut ye not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die. As they approach unto the most holy things, Aaron and his sons shall go in, and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. But they shall not go in and see when the holy things are covered, lest they all die. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout the houses of their fathers by their families, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shalt thou number them. All that enter in to perform the service, to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. This is the service of the family of the Gershonites to serve, and for burdens. And they shall bear curtains of the tabernacle, and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skins that is above on it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacles of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and the altar round about, and their cords, and all their instruments for their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be the service of the Gershonites, in all their burdens, and in all their service, and they shall appoint unto them the charge of all their burdens. This is the service of the families of the sons of Gershon, in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. So there are all the curtains, the cloths, and all those things that kind of make up the tent work of this tabernacle. They're in charge of that. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number the families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward unto 50 years old shalt thou number them, every one that entereth into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is the charge of their burden, according to their service in the tabernacle of the congregation. The boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and the sockets thereof, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service, and by name ye shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the family of the sons of Merari, according to all their service, in the number in the tabernacle of the congregation under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the priest. And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites and their families, and of the house of their fathers, from 30 years old upward into 50 years old. Everyone that entereth into the service for the work of the congregation, for the tabernacle of the congregation. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. These were they that numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do service of the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number according to their commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon throughout the families, and by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old upward to 50 years old, every one that entereth the service for the work of the tabernacle of congregation, even those that were numbered of them throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, were 2,630. These are they that numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do service of the tabernacle of congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari throughout their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old upward to 50 years old, everyone that entered the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. Even those that were numbered of them after their families were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord and the hand of Moses. All those that were numbered in the Levites, from whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered, by their families and after the service of their household, from 30 years old upward to 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burdens in the tabernacle of congregation, even those that were numbered of them were 8,540. According to them, the commandment of the Lord were numbered by the hand of Moses, everyone according to his service, according to his burden. Thus they were numbered by him as the Lord commanded Moses. Chapter 5. And the Lord spake to Moses, command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, every one that hath an issue, like blood or whatever, and whosoever is defiled by the dead, both male and female, ye shall put out. Without the camp ye shall put them, that they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so, and put them out of the camp. As the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, when a man or a woman shall commit any sin against that men commit, to do trespass against the Lord, and that person is guilty, then they shall confess their sin, which they have done, and they shall recompense his trespass with that principal thereof, and add a fifth part thereof. So if you owed a goat or money or whatever it was under the law, you give that plus 20%. But if the man hath no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of atonement, whereby an atonement be made for him. And every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they put unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's hallowed thing shall be his. Whatsoever any man give to the priest, it shall be his. So the priests get a little part of the lamb offering or the goat or whatever by law. They get part of that. That's how God takes care of the priests. Verse 11, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, If any man's wife go aside and commit trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner, so if he can't catch her in the act, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he is jealous of his wife, and she not be defiled, then shall the man bring his wife to the priest, and then shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil on it, nor frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord, and the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take, and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge the woman by an oath, and say unto the woman, If no man hath lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside into uncleanness with another, instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man hath lain with thee beside thy husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath, of cursing. And the priest shall say to the woman, the Lord will make thee a curse and an oath among thy people. When the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot, or diminish, and thy belly to swell, this water that causes the curse shall go into thy belly, and make the belly swell, and thy thigh rot. And the woman shall say, Amen. Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with bitter water, and he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. When the priest shall take the jealousy offering to the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord, and offer it on the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar. And afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. And he that made her drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, and he hath done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. And the belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and she shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousies. And a wife goeth to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, then the spirit of jealousy cometh on him, and he be jealous over his wife. And he shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the woman be guiltless from her iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. Just shall the man be guiltless of iniquity, and the woman shall bear her iniquity. There you go. God is covering all the bases in the law, and we see what everybody's supposed to do. Well, this book of Numbers has been interesting, and we're going to continue on tomorrow. Catch you next time.